Is it getting a belly rub?
We awoke in Bodega Cove on the eastern side of Nootka Island and wove our way out of the narrow channel, heading south. We are slowly nearing the halfway point in our journey down the west coast of Vancouver Island. In the last episode, we sailed around the back of Nootka Island, where we managed to briefly escape the pervasive fog that's been hanging over the Pacific Ocean for days. So far, this journey has really been marked by extremes. There was endless fog. There was journeys of incredible isolation. There were moments of beautiful friendship and so many memories of extreme beauty. Now we are sailing towards another extreme, one of the places of most historical significance along this coast. Soon, a red and white lighthouse appeared in front of us, and we dropped anchor. This is Yuquot, also known as Friendly Cove, on Nootka Island, a place at the edge of the Pacific Ocean.
Timing! Let's go. there's still wind.
I grew up on the coast of BC, and I can't say that I've ever actually heard about this place, which is surprising because it's a very important spot in the history of this coast. Yuquot has been inhabited by the Mulechat-Machalat First Nation for over 4,000 years. In the local language, Yuquot means where the wind blows from all directions. And in 1778, that wind carried a significant change into this small cove. Captain James Cook arrived in 1778 and began one of the first sustained periods of contact between Europeans and Indigenous peoples on this coast. But Britain wasn't the only empire to try and get a foothold here. Spain also vied for its position, and this tension led to the Nootka crisis, a diplomatic disaster that nearly brought Spain and Britain to war. Today, Yuquot is still a place of deep cultural significance for the Mulechat-Machalat First Nation, who to this day live in the area and steward these lands and waters. We paid the admission fee to the historic site and wandered around the grounds. I think that in the summer there are likely a lot of visitors here, but now in September, it felt empty. Inside the church is the drawing of Chief McKenna, the powerful chief who met with James Cook and the Spanish when they came to this land. According to this information board, the church has now been left in the hands of the Mulechat-Machalat First Nation, and the mixture of Indigenous artwork within a traditional Christian church building, I think perfectly represents the crossroads that this place is. Suddenly, further down the beach, we saw something splashing in the waves, and we both gasped.
It looks really lifeless. But you saw it swimming towards the beach,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, it's lifting one flipper now. Oh, there, it's breathing. Let me get a bigger flipper.
I have never seen this in my life. This is crazy.
Wow, look at it.
That's
Oh my
wild.
God. I thought it was dead first or injured.
We kept our distance, wanting to make sure we gave the whale space to feed in peace. While I didn't know it at the time, later on I reached out to the kind folks at the Marine Education and Research Society, or MARES, and they told me that this is actually fairly typical behavior for a gray whale. They like to slowly cruise through shallow water to feed.
Is it getting a belly rub?
You cannot imagine my relief that I actually had my telephoto lens with me. I had really debated bringing it. We've been sailing nonstop and filming nonstop now for 5 months, and I was starting to feel a bit exhausted by the pace. But it's a bit of a catch-22 because I also know that if I see something spectacular and I don't have my camera with me, that drives me crazy. So I'm glad I brought the lens. Never in my life have I been so close to a whale. And there was truly something so powerful and ancient and calming about its presence.
Oh, no, no, no. It's coming up. It's coming up.
In the past, whaling used to occur here, but now the whales meander slowly along the beach, unhurried and unbothered. And for a brief moment, it feels as though the world is healing, that we will be okay.
Incredible. And especially the beach here too, how it's raised and you get such a good view. If we were at the same level, we wouldn't have seen it as well.
The whales stayed on the beach all afternoon. We watched it for nearly 4 hours, and I took more footage than I will probably ever be able to use. What is this fascination? Why do I feel so calm, so focused, so hopeful while watching this whale? Why do I want to sink into the sea alongside it? To twist my body through shallow waters, some strange ancient desire deep in my veins. And if I can't, if I won't, if I must leave this whale and continue sailing south, then what at least of this moment can I take with me?
Sing out, blue whale, old man in the water, slow motion, ocean
The arrival of the helicopter means that they're doing provisionings and doing some repairs. So the lighthouse isn't open, but the helicopter pilot actually invited us to come look at his helicopter, which was really nice. And he was telling us a bit about flying along this coast for the Coast Guard. That was really special. He came from Victoria today, and he said the water is flat calm out there. So we're not going to have a good sailing day, but we are going to have an easy rounding of the peninsula here, which can get rough in more inclement weather. So it'll be a gentle and uneventful passage, hopefully. Our friends in the anchorage who we met last night, they just walked over. There's a master carver here, and they went to go see his work, and it sounded really neat. So we just walked over, but I guess he's closed up. It's around lunchtime, so perhaps he's gone for lunch. But anyway, a bit of bad luck with things being closed, but that's okay. We're going to continue on our way. I personally feel like we got a lot out of this place, even though we didn't see everything. We've left some for next time, and that whale was such a highlight that, I mean, that's going to keep me fueled up for weeks. That was just amazing. All right, onwards. The next stop is actually really, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be another hot springs Cove. I think this one's going to be really different than our experience at the hot springs up in Yuquot Bay, where we had the whole place to ourselves. Hot Springs Cove is definitely much more visited. They run tours to it and stuff, so it'll be a different vibe, but I think it'll still be really magical. That's for this evening. Let's go.
We're in a bit of a rush now, never a good thing on a boat. If some of you remember way back in Lagoon Cove when we were going north along the mainland of British Columbia, I had to do a bunch of bureaucratic nonsense for work permits and citizenship applications and other such necessities that occur when you don't share the same passport as your spouse. Some of those things that I had set in motion now required an in-person visit to Vancouver, and so I reluctantly had to book a flight from the town of Tofino. The flight was in a few days, so we had to make our way south to reach Tofino.
Wow, what an incredible place, this Estevan Point. As you can tell, it is very calm, and I recommend staying away from the point unless it is as calm as it is now, because it's really shallow. We have sometimes 10 meters under our keel, and so the entire swell builds up. Even now we can notice. But the wildlife, there is a whale in the bay. I saw 3 black bears roaming the beach, and the rocks are just full of sea lions. So if it is indeed calm when you cross, I recommend checking things out with binoculars. Unfortunately, we can't get closer, and it's really hard to capture it on camera because of the distance and the swell. But maybe when we round the point, we'll get a little closer to it. But yeah, quite enjoyable sightseeing.
We are just approaching Hot Springs Cove now. As predicted, it was a pretty uneventful journey over here, motor on most of the way. The cove itself, where it's nice and calm and protected, is about a 1.5 kilometer hike from the actual hot springs. So unlike in Yuquot Bay, you don't have a view right over your boat as you soak in the hot springs. And yeah, hot springs sounds pretty nice right now. There's a definite chill in the air. I actually turned the fire on inside. Hot spring will be welcome. Okay, so we are just coming up to the little dock area. We passed by the pool, and this didn't even occur to me, but we might actually not be able to film there because there was a lot of people there and they were naked. So yeah, maybe Hot Springs Cove is a place you have to experience for yourself. So we're gonna actually head there. I'm not gonna bring the camera just so that we can sort of get a lay of the land, and I don't wanna show up to a place where everyone's naked with a camera. That is sketchy behavior. And then we'll see, maybe we can come like early in the morning tomorrow to be able to film it for you guys, but I'll see what I'm able to do. Hey Aladino.
Hey.
What very welcome news did we just receive?
Well, about 8 people just passed us, so guess what that means?
Yeah, so they were coming back from the springs, and
Starfish grin.
they said that we've got the springs to ourselves now. Yes.
Yeah. Good timing.
It pays to get places late.
Yeah. I can just tell how busy it gets though, because just up on our arrival we saw a boat leave, we saw a float plane leave, and just the state, this amazing boardwalk here, it's got to be made to support a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, seems like we got lucky.
Yeah.
We learned that this isn't actually normally a nude hot spring. There are tours which run tourists up from Tofino or Yuquot for the day. But when those tours leave, the hot spring becomes deserted, except for locals who have their own boats and their own dress codes.
After the walk, I kind of feel like I need a refreshment. I want a warm up. Good there's both.
Yeah.
I can hear the ocean.
Oh, I feel so lucky. I didn't bring my camera on purpose because I didn't want to be a creepy person at the hot springs with a camera. But now it's all to ourselves. Fortunately, I did have my phone. So.
Wow, hot waterfalls.
It's stunning. And that boardwalk was amazing.
It really is. So well kept up.
So
wide,
well kept up.
Flat, perfect.
And there's change rooms.
This is cool too.
It's so well set up. But we do not need change rooms or really anything because we're here all to ourselves. So I'll do a quick scan of the springs to show them to you, and then I think Aladino and I will enjoy our evening. Nice.
In the next episode, we keep going south. We enjoy a beautiful sunny day on the water before the fog swallows us again, and we unfortunately learn why so many of the comments on Navionics say that Tofino is not a good place to visit on a sailboat.
Man, the current is just ripping through here. It is crazy that they decided to build a harbor here. This is actually a little scary.
As always, thank you so much for watching. We publish a new episode about our voyage along the BC coastline every single Friday. And if you're new to the channel and are interested in seeing, some of the past episodes, we've been posting these weekly for months now, and we've got episodes that cover a lot of the BC coast, from Vancouver all the way up to Ocean Falls on the central coast, and then of course back down south via the west coast of Vancouver Island. It's been a real privilege to explore this coastline. It is just one of the most spectacular places to sail in the world, truly. And thank you for being here with us and allowing us to make these episodes. An extra big thank you to the folks whose names are now appearing on screen for always going above and beyond to make sure that Magic Carpet keeps being produced. And a really big thank you to all of our patrons, not all of whose names are listed here, but our patrons are what keep this all happening. We are so grateful for your contributions, and in return, we publish real-time updates to Patreon, which are never published anywhere else. So if you're curious what's happening with Magic Carpet in real time, Patreon's the place to go. You can pay $2 a month or whatever you want. It's completely flexible, and it keeps this all audience funded. We're really so immensely grateful for that. Okay, I think that's it from us now. As always, we will see you next Friday as we sail in to Tofino, which ends up being a little more than we bargained for. See you then. Bye.